Hey everyone, so this is going to be part 2 of my 30-week pregnancy update. I have a lot to update you guys on, and so I made a part 1 and I'm going to be making a part 2 because I want you guys to be able to take a break and not have to, like, you know, find your way in the middle of a video and try to, you know, I go watch that video, take a break from me, watch some other people's videos, do work, whatever you do, and then come back and watch this video, so that I'm not taking up too much of your time in one big chunk. So, but yeah, like I said, I have a lot to update you guys on. So where I left off was I had just taken my 3-hour glucose intolerance test, and even though I hadn't had my results back yet, I was just so worried and so concerned that I just really wanted to make a change. Like, something clicked in my brain, and I was like, dude, like, we need to completely eat differently. We need to completely, like, cut out the pop and just everything. And, like, I don't know, just something clicked in my head, and I feel like that's how I am with fitness. Like, I'll try to be healthy and I'll try to have healthier recipes and I'll try to, you know, try to do all these things, but it doesn't, like, click, and it doesn't really happen until it just does. And so something clicked in my brain, and Robert was right along there with me. He knew how, like, guilty I felt and just bad about even putting myself in the position of having gestational diabetes. And I know that a lot of times people don't, it's not their fault that they get gestational diabetes, but with me, because I'm heavier, I just feel like it would have been my fault. And so yeah, we got on board. We looked up some really healthy recipes. I think we were out of soda at that point, and so we were just like, we're just not gonna buy anymore. And we just went to it with being healthy. So it was about 3 days after the glucose intolerance test. I was about to go take a walk to Walgreens. We have a Walgreens like a block and a half away, so it wasn't too far. It was still cold out, but it wasn't so cold where I couldn't handle it. And so I was about to go for a walk over to grab something at Walgreens real quick and then come back, and as I'm leaving, my phone rings, and it was the nurse, and she said, "How you doing?" I'm like, "I'm good, but you know, you can make or break my day right here." And she said, "Don't worry, your levels came back just fine. You are not gestational diabetic. You are perfectly fine." So I thanked her. I said, "Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you." Hung up with her and started, like, crying, a happy cry, because I was really, really, really worried. But at that point, the switch was flipped, and, you know, I'm on this, we're gonna do this, we're gonna be healthy, you know, no matter what, because I did fail my first glucose test. So, you know, but I don't know, that could just be how my body works, because with Sadie, I failed my 1 hour and then I passed my 3-hour as well. So it could just be that my body is, I don't know, sleeping for that first hour and then decides to start working in the second 2 hours. I don't know. But for one reason or the other, I passed the 3-hour whenever I don't pass the 1 hour. But yeah, I feel good about the little changes that we've been making in our lifestyle. So I'm really excited about that, and I think that it'll be really great getting closer to when the baby's here, and then especially with breastfeeding, making sure that I get those good nutrients in there and not filling myself with so many processed foods and things like that. So once I heard that I was not gestational diabetic, I was very relieved. I knew that the MFM doctor, I'll call him MFM, but if you are confused by what that means, it's maternal fetal medicine, or a perinatalist. So I knew that if I was gestational diabetic, I knew that the MFM doctor was really gonna be limiting my choices or my chances as far as VBACing. And I don't know, I was just really nervous about that. So whenever I was going to my MFM appointment the following week, when I was 29 weeks, I felt a lot better. The one worry that I still had, I knew that I wasn't gestational diabetic, but I was still worried because at my pediatric cardiologist appointment, the baby was head up, she was breech. And so I'm like, all right, all this other stuff aside, I'm probably gonna have a breech baby, and then it's all gonna not for nothing, but it's all, you know, I will have no choice. If the baby is breech, I have no choice. I have to have a C-section. So I'm like, oh, watch, the baby's going to be breech. So I was worried about that then going into my MFM appointment. But anyways, how the MFM appointments work where I go is you go in, you check in, and they call you back, just the woman, and they do all your measurements and your blood pressure, and you know, they check your urine for protein, they check your ankles to see if they're swollen, they ask you a bunch of questions and things like that. So whenever I went and got measured, mind you, my last midwife appointment, I had gained 3 pounds. So she had weighed me there at the MFM office, and I lost 3 pounds. So I don't know if it was just because we decided to be more active and we changed our diet and all this stuff, but I don't know what it was, but I lost 3 pounds in that week, and that was just crazy. So in a way I felt validated, because I'm like, okay, that's good. It means that my healthy lifestyle is really helping, and I have weight to lose. It's not like I am a 30 weeks pregnant person that shouldn't lose any weight. Like, I'm bigger, and I don't think it's the baby losing weight. You know what I mean? I don't think it's hurting the baby for me to lose a little bit of weight. So so I lost 3 pounds, and then she checked my fundal height, and I at my midwife appointment I was measuring, I think, about 3 centimeters or 3 weeks over, and then at the MFM office I was only measuring 1 week over. So I guess I had kind of evened out in that department as well. So I was kind of, you know, I don't ever want to say that I liked to, or I was happy about losing weight this far into pregnancy, but I know that my weight is an issue, and so in a way I was kind of, I kind of was happy, I guess, if that makes sense. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay. Anyways, so after they take all your measurements, they go ahead and call the rest of your family back. I had invited my grandma to come. She didn't have ultrasounds around whenever she was, you know, in her childbearing years. And then my mom, she never invited her to any of her ultrasounds whenever she was, you know, had me or my brothers. And so I figured I would go ahead and invite her, but she wasn't feeling well. So my mom ended up coming instead. My mom is like, of course, she will always take the opportunity if it's given to her. So she came, and then Sadie was there and Robert was there. So we went ahead and went back into the ultrasound room, and the tech who I've known, we saw her twice a week, every week for I think like 11 weeks back in my other pregnancy. So we have a really good, you know, I know her, and we have a really good rapport. So I go in there, and we get all set up, and she puts the transducer on my belly, and on the top of my belly, and the first thing we see is butt. The butt and the legs. And I was so excited. They call it the potty shot. But I was so excited because that meant that she was head down, or at least down, you know, lower than the butt. So I was really, really excited about that, because that was something I was really worried about. I was really worried that she was going to be breech. And so I'm not one of those people that can tell by the kicks where the baby is. Like, obviously I can tell like the general location of the baby, but I'm not one of those people that can say, oh, that's a knee, oh, that's the butt, that's the head, that's this. I cannot do that for the life of me, and I try so hard. But what I can say is, like, the bigger kicks happen towards the top of my belly, and the smaller kicks and like the little tickle-ish kind of movements, they happen towards the bottom of my belly. And so what I assume is those little ticklish type of movements are like her hands and her fingers, and the bigger movements are like her feet and her legs and her bottom. That's what I assume. So I was really, really excited to hear that she was not breech. So we were in there just having a good old time, talking, laughing, and all of a sudden the door whips open, and my MFM doctor comes in, and he said, there's too much laughing going on in here. And again, I have a really good relationship with him because I knew him so much. I saw him so much in my last pregnancy. He came right in. He asked me how the pediatric cardiologist appointment went. That it went really, really great, and that the cardiologist was just really happy to see us, and that I told him the whole story of, you know, the visit, and he was so surprised. He's like, she's not generally that peppy of a person, and he said she must have really liked what she saw. And I said, well, she said everything looked good. So so that was really good. But as we were kind of talking, I asked him, I said, you know, I know that you had written in my medical records that you were going to recommend that I have a repeat C-section. Is there a specific reason for that? You know, what risks are you worried about? And so he basically just told me, you know, that he's worried about the same risks that any previous C-section would cause him to be worried about. And he's like, you know, we're always worried about rupture. And of course my big mouth was like, oh, you mean the 1% chance? And my husband starts laughing and my mom laughs, because they just know, like, I am fired up about this. Like, I don't want to be fed, you know, oh, well, it's because of this or it's because of this. And I understand that the doctors have to be careful. I completely understand that. But I also don't want to, like, live my life and make these big decisions based on something that's a 1% chance of happening. So he's like, yes, there is a 1% chance, he said. And so I'm like, well, what is setting you apart? You know, are you just against VBACs in general, or what is your, you know, what are your worries specifically about me? And what he said was that he is a bit concerned about my weight because I am a bit heavier. He said that instead of a C-section, an emergency C-section taking, you know, 12 minutes, it could end up taking 16 minutes because they have extra layers to cut through or whatever. So so that at least it made a little bit of sense to me. I've never heard that excuse, or not excuse, but I've never heard that reasoning before. So it was definitely something different to hear. But I could accept that. I'm like, okay. And so he said, you know, but as long as your midwife is comfortable with your situation, as long as the doctor above your midwife is comfortable, you know, with the risks, he said, I don't see any problem. He said, the baby looks great. There looks like there's no issues. I'm really, really happy to see how the baby's developing. And so I will go ahead and, you know, okay you to proceed as a VBAC. So I was super duper excited, yay. And then, you know, through this whole time that we're talking, the ultrasound is going on, and I'm like barely paying attention to the ultrasound because I'm so like into what he's saying and really just trying to be engaging in the conversation. And so I like missed the whole ultrasound, but I did catch her before she closed up shop, and I'm like, oh, can you let me know, you know, how big do you think the baby is at this point? And she said, sure. And she says 3 pounds 5 ounces. And I'm like, huh, what? Oh my gosh, like 3 pounds 5 ounces. You guys, Sadie, when she was born, was 4 pounds 7 ounces at 35 weeks and 6 days. That's like nuts, okay? So I'm like, 3 pounds 5 ounces, and both her and the doctor look at me and they're like, that's normal, like that's good. You know, with Sadie, she was underweight a lot of the time, and you know, you were worried most of the pregnancy. I'm like, oh, no wonder I'm having a little bit of a hard time falling asleep at night or getting comfortable. So it was a really, really great meeting. And it really just eased my mind on a bunch of different levels. And so yeah, so those were my doctor's appointments and all of like the big issues that were going on. So now I'm going to try and go ahead and let you guys know about my symptoms and other stuff that's going on. Let's see, I wrote on here, I have my little phone here. I put glucose test on here. I wanted to talk about that. I put Scandal on here. And the reason that I did that is because during my last pregnancy, whenever I was on bed rest, we would you know, watch shows on Netflix, and we would watch like all 7 seasons of it, and now I look back and I'm pretty sure that we watched Lost, and I can't remember the other ones that we watched. I think I watched Army Wives. I'm not sure. So so that I can remember in the future, my husband and I have watched the whole up to current of the show Scandal, and we've been really liking that show. So I just thought I'd mention it. It has nothing to do with pregnancy, but I just, you know, just for documentation, I guess. Okay, so one symptom that has gotten just crazy is heartburn. And I had heartburn with Sadie, and I knew that I was probably going to have heartburn again with this baby, especially with this baby growing and getting bigger faster. Like, I know I'm going to have heartburn. And so it doesn't happen every day, but when it does happen, it's bad. And it's almost to the point where I feel like a dragon. I feel like I could breathe fire on people. It's just not comfortable. It's not fun at all. And there's just no relief from it. don't like Tums. I don't like I don't really want to take Pepsid-AC or any kind of like medicinal drug, but I hate Tums. They're just gross to me. I think that they're like, the texture, I just don't like them. And so most of the time I either ignore it and just try to sit up straight and see if it will calm down after a while. But last night, I gotta tell you, last night it was so bad, and we were having chili that night, and I'm like, great, I already have heartburn, I'm gonna have chili. And so I wasn't excited about that, but then I like made myself my bowl of chili, and I had everything ready to go, and then I knock over my bowl onto the floor. And it went everywhere. The chili went all over the floor, all over the oven, all over my little storage boxes over here, one of which of the drawers were not pushed in all the way, so the chili got all in the drawer, all over my, the drawers hold my old yearbooks and things. And oh, it was just such a big mess, and I just stood there and I stared at it, and I had heartburn, and I was looking at it, I was like, I have to bend over and clean all of this up. And then I noticed that my bowl was chipped, and it was a wedding present. And I just was like standing there, and I'm like, I'm not gonna lose it. I'm not gonna lose it. I'm not gonna lose it. And I didn't lose it. I didn't like go crazy, but like the tears just started coming down, and I'm like, so my husband comes over and he like gets most of the mess up, and I'm like, it's okay. I gathered myself, I'm like, it's okay. And I start wiping the rest of everything down and cleaning everything up, and I get myself my bowl of chili, and I go sit down, and I told my husband, I said, I'm gonna need ice cream tonight. It's one of those nights, I'm gonna need ice cream. And I tell you what, the doctors disagree with me, and I'm sure all the research is probably stacked up against me, but as far as I'm concerned, whenever I have heartburn, the only thing that will help me is a little bit of ice cream. I don't know, they say, oh well, it may help, you know, for a while, but then it's gonna make it worse later on. No, not for me. Nope. Ice cream completely cures me. I don't know if it just puts me in a better mood and my positive attitude just keeps it down. I don't know what it is, but ice cream totally helps my heartburn. And so even though we've been doing this health kick and everything like that, I haven't had ice cream in I think it was like 2 weeks at that point. I needed ice cream last night. So yeah, that's my rant about heartburn. It sucks, and it's only gonna get worse. I'm only 30 weeks, so I'm prepared for that. But yeah, something else I've been experiencing a little bit more is back pain. I just can't seem to get comfortable at night, and so I don't know if I wrote down back pain, but I'm thinking I probably meant like lower back pain and hip pain. It's just really hard to get comfortable at night, and so I end up waking up in the morning with just back pain and hip pain. And luckily throughout the day I'm able to, you know, as I'm walking or being active, it helps it and it does go away, but it's like first thing in the morning, and like trying to get comfortable at night is not fun. So it's hard. It's getting harder to get comfortable. Okay, so another symptom that I have is that everything stinks. Everything smells. Every single thing, like water smells to me. I don't know what it is, but like I can smell, I don't know, like I don't even know what I wrote this down about, because it was something funny that I'm like, my husband was like, I don't know what you're talking about. And I was like, it smells horrible. Oh, I think it was orange peels, because we have cuties at the house right now. And so Sadie peels herself oranges, and so most of the time she's really good about putting the peels in the garbage, but if not, they'll be like sitting out on the counter, and I can smell them in the other room. I'm like, oh, I can smell the rind of the orange. It's so disgusting. Ugh, it smells so bitter. And my husband's like, what are you talking about? I don't smell anything. Or like the cat will use the litter box, and I'll be able to smell it as soon as it happens, and I have to like excuse myself from the house because it's just disgusting. Ugh. Oh, I can smell everything, and everything is just...
Let me be a part.
Huh?
Let me be super part.
You're really smart?
Yeah.
Oh, you are? Why do you say that?
I want to be nice now.
You're always nice, baby. It's just sometimes you need to have some alone time in your room.
Sometimes people get frustrated.
Yeah, sometimes people do get frustrated.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to finish my video, and then maybe you can make a video, okay?
That's perfect idea.
All right. Okay. All right. So
I love you.
I love you too. So one last thing that I wanted to mention about this week in pregnancy is I woke up the morning before I turned 30 weeks. So this was Sunday morning. And I just got this sadness that kind of came over me.
Look it.
Oh, come on.
Look it.
Oh, one of your Zoobles. Your baby Zooble. Where's the baby? Where's that mommy? You need to go find that mommy. Go. This overwhelming sadness that came over me because Sadie has such the cutest, sweetest relationship with my belly. And I don't know, it just kind of hit me that, you know, I'm about to be 30 weeks pregnant. And that's not that long to go before I'm going to be having this baby and the baby's going to be out. And I mean, whoever knows whether they're going to be blessed with another baby, if they're ever going to be pregnant again, you just never know. And I don't know, like just being pregnant and feeling the baby inside of me, and also just the relationship. Hold on one second, let me finish talking, okay? Just the relationship that Sadie has formed with my belly and all that. Like she'll come up to my belly and pull my shirt up and snuggle and give it a hug, and she'll talk to the baby and she'll sing songs to her and just do all these sweet things. And I don't know, it just makes my heart like feel so good because I know she's going to be such a big sister. But eventually when the baby comes out, she's not going to snuggle up to me and my belly anymore. She's going to be snuggling up to the baby. So I'm definitely going to miss that. And it's just something that I really want to cherish and I really just want to enjoy until the baby comes in these next couple weeks. So not next couple weeks, like next 10 weeks. But yeah, so yeah, but I have a feeling the next couple weeks are going to fly by. This coming up weekend is Easter. The weekend after that we're going to be celebrating Easter with my other side of my family, and then the weekend after that we're going to go visit my brother who lives in Southern Illinois just for a weekend, just so we can have like a little baby moon, and we'll probably go to the zoo and just do whatever free stuff there is to do down whereby he lives. And then the week after that is our next ultrasound. They want to keep an eye on the growth and make sure everything's going well. And that Saturday is going to be our final consignment event. So yeah. Oh, I do have one baby buy that I want to show you. It's just one. So hold on one second. Got this. So okay. So one baby buy I want to show you. Just so you guys know, any of you that have asked for my registry information, I'll go ahead and link that below. I appreciate you so much for thinking of us and for wanting to give to this baby. Thank you so much. I'll put that link in the description below. But we did want to go out and buy something for the baby. Everything that we've bought so far has been from consignment events and things like that. And we hope to find a lot of the items that we need at consignment events, but this is something that I just don't feel we're going to be able to find. Okay? Because I'm recording right now, okay? I just don't think we're going to be able to find. So I went ahead and we went ahead out and got this. It's the Blooming Bath, and I first saw it on Pinterest, and I thought it was a great idea back then. But at my old apartment, we didn't really need it. But here, our bathroom is quite small, and the bathtub has a sliding glass door, and so it would be really, really difficult. I can't imagine. I mean, we would do what we had to do if we had to do it to bathe the baby and keep the baby clean, but it didn't look like it was going to be any way that I was going to be able to use a tub in the tub or anything short of just me bathing with the baby. And so this looked like it was going to be a great solution for that problem, so that we can go ahead and give the baby baths in the kitchen sink and have her be comfortable. So I'm really, really excited about this purchase. I hate paying full price for anything, but you know, it's okay. I'm really excited to have her use it. So maybe I'll do a review on it whenever the time comes that I've used it a couple times and let you guys know how I like it. Alright, so I think I've talked for long enough, and I know this was a really long update. Hopefully I can update you guys more often as the weeks come up. You're going to make a video in just a minute, okay? So anyways, if you guys have hung in there with me this long, thank you. I love you. And congratulations. And I hope to see you guys for my next video. Bye guys.